Merry meet and welcome to Lex Dragon Queen Magic. I'm Taylor, and today's Tuesdays with Tarot is a check-in with our twin flame connection. So we're going to be taking a look at both the divine feminine representation as well as the divine masculine representation. So this may be for just internally within you, what you need to know more to balance those sides within you, as well as to know more about what you're seeing in the external. So wherever you're at within your life, if you're in separation or connection, there should still be a message for you within one of these piles. With that, I will go ahead and see you at the timestamps below. All right, welcome pile one. If you chose this pile, we have your divine femme being represented by Hestia, the goddess of sanctuary. No matter where I am home. The most sacred sanctuary is found within me. So right away, just a quick look into the divine feminine here. We're really getting this sense of probably most people drawn to this pile are mothers or strive to be mothers and really be the head of a family. Also, we're definitely going to have some of our nurturers here within this pile. Those of you who maybe relate to the Queen of Pentacles as well, someone who really takes comfort in luxury and being supported on the home front. I'm definitely seeing, we're going to talk a little bit more about your divine masculine portion, but I'm definitely seeing for the divine feminine, where you find your leadership is within the home and the family, and within the, not protection, but within the safety. So that mental safety, that peace of mind, that is more how you support your connection. Okay. And then is the divine feminine. And then for the divine masculine, we have transhuman. So I am forming the future. Now for this, I'll go ahead. You may want to take screenshots in order to read all of it. I'm just going to briefly go over it. But essentially what we're seeing with the transhuman is this is more about someone who is connecting with technology in a way that they are becoming robotic. And that sounds a little bit odd, but I'm sensing that that is essentially what your divine masculine is prone to do. So is to step into a more emotionless role. So the divine feminine aspect is going to definitely really feel those withdrawals when they happen. And so I'm really sensing that that's going to be where the balance is needed within this connection, is having the support of saying like, I am home, you're safe, you can be human again, and essentially come back to the empathy side, which will then propel the divine masculine to moving forward and forming the future with the heart in mind. So yeah, I'm really seeing like the divine feminine here really takes a lot of place with being the heart and the voice, especially when it comes to speaking and supporting the divine masculine. And then the divine masculine self is going to be the more logical, futuristic element that is propelling the future. So there's this sense like they go out into the world and you are always home to make sure that they have somewhere safe to come home to. So very important in your connection. So definitely take however that resonates for you. And also I would encourage you to, if you really resonated with Hestia, to look up Hestia. Maybe some elements of her story might reach out to you as well. And then in regards to the divine masculine aspect, we're really seeing a lot of technology within this. So I would say if you haven't really been connecting with the divine masculine aspect, maybe find some kind of logical game, or literally like take an engineering or coding class kind of scenario together. So I'm really seeing that if together or like for yourself. So again, this is more so just to check in with either side, how you guys complement each other, and maybe where you're feeling some strains in your relationship as well. Next, we're going to take a deeper look into some hidden truth within your connection. So these are certain messages that may be coming from either side of the connection. So definitely just take however it resonates, but no matter what, these messages will be truthful for your connection. Okay. So first we have, I still feel the pain. So I'm definitely sensing like that there is some emotional sheltering happening, and there is a certain level of trust that may be needed here. So we're definitely getting that sense. And we have a couple more. I'm not financially stable. So I'm really picking up from both sides, honestly, that might be a communication, because a lot of times when you are someone who works on the homestead, your value is seen as different because you aren't working per a dollar per hour, and you can't easily label the value of your time, which I mean, I think that's more of how we should look at life. But anyways, and then on the other side, we have the divine masculine. I'm sensing probably isn't as far as they would like to be in life. So they really probably shelter themselves because they're afraid of disappointment, whether within themselves or for the other. And then again, if this is just something with internally, so a lot of times with twin flames, we're seeing the external interconnection as well as the internal with our own relationship. So maybe you yourself are having some issues around abundance and abundance blockage. So I definitely would encourage you to do some more shadow work around that. Like I said, taking maybe that logical class might be the thing that boosts you into that idea of self-worth and self-value. And then we do have one more. So I would do it all again. So this is really interesting coming up. So we're saying I still feel the pain. I'm not financially stable. And then at the end though, we have I would do it all again. So ultimately what I'm getting is whether you're divine feminine or divine masculine in this connection, there is a sense of recommitment that both of you want to bring to this table. And there's just these blockages around not feeling valuable enough, and that there is pain in the past. And that's why it's so important too, I'm saying, for the divine feminine to be this goddess of sanctuary, because it's a sanctuary not just for you but also for your divine masculine. And if you are not living in connection or like living near your connection, I definitely would say this is going to be more of a mental space and kind of a safe space. So an example coming to mind is kind of like if you're in therapy and you don't have to travel to an office to feel safe to talk to a therapist. So it's that same kind of mentality when your partner and you are speaking, that is going to help you resolve the pain that you still feel, because ultimately you guys are saying that you would still do it all again to be with each other, right? So great hidden truth to come out. Now, I go ahead and have a self-care card. So these, I like to look at it. You can look at it as something to really help you balance out your own energies, or you can look at it as a fun date idea to incorporate with you and your partner to help reconnect and balance each other. So these are just guided suggestions from spirit. So your self-care then moment is write a gratitude list. So I definitely think whenever we're feeling, especially like we are not financially stable, writing a gratitude list can really help us like notice everything that we do have, in addition to bringing more wealth to our surroundings. Also, something with gratitude list, it can also make us more emotionally stable. So I'm really sensing like we're wanting that balancing act for both parties here. And the last thing I would say about this in regards to making it a couples thing is you could do something towards like, what are you grateful for in your connection? So instead of listing values within your home that you're like grateful for normally, you can list values that you're grateful for within your partner, such as, I'm grateful that you give me hand massages once in a while. I'm grateful that you do the dishes on days that I work 10 hours. I'm grateful when you message me if I want a hot meal tonight, or if I would prefer to just heat it up when I finally get home. Like certain things that make your connection make sense, that like a lot of people may say like, that's weird. Like you guys, that's a weird way to support each other. No one's saying it in those words, but that ultimately is what is happening if you're getting any of these things, any external negative comments about your relationship. So this is why we're having write a gratitude list come in. You're going to want to just go through and be like, what are the things that I'm really grateful for that come through in my relationship and do support me? And again, writing that list is going to just bring more of that in, especially if you do this together, because then you're communicating it. So if you say like, yeah, I actually really appreciate this thing that you do, they may not know that. And they may be like, oh, easy, weird way to think about this in the society. Easy points for me. I'm going to go ahead and start doing this more. And then you're like, okay, you know. So definitely take that how it resonates, but I would encourage you, no matter where you are in this connection, to just write a gratitude list. Finally, to end out our reading today, I'm going to go ahead and we have the Rumi Oracle. So we're going to read it straight from the book. It's a couple pages with the sacred honoring ritual. So definitely listen to the story as you would like and take what resonates with you, even if it is just maybe the story itself or maybe just the ritual. No matter what, there is definitely a message for you within this, and Rumi supporting you. So with that being said, for you, try to get the glare up, we have number 34, Leia. Put aside your clever schemes, O lover, be mindless, become mad, dive into the heart of the flame, become fearless, be like a moth. Turn away from the self and tear down the house, then come and dwell in the house of love. Be a lover, live with lovers. Clean your chest with all hostility, wash it 7 times, then fill it with the wine of love. Be a chalice for love, be a chalice. You must be all love to be worthy of the beloved. When going to the gathering of drunks, be drunk, become drunk. Your thought takes the course, dragging you in its wake. Move beyond thought. Let your heart lead. Be the leader. When the grace of love is revealed, be a mirror to reflect it. When the beloved's hair is loosened, brush it like a comb. Be a comb. Rumi. How I long for my thoughts to no longer make any sense to me. Then I can become rid of them. Like noisy house guests who have overstayed their welcome. Oh, the peace when they finally go. Their incessant chatter brings me no comfort. I crave the silence of you. Will you let me hear it? Will you run through the noisy house of my mind with your great muddy feet so that I can focus on something other than my mind for a while? Maybe you make such a mess that I shall give up my plans and attempts at order completely, just to give in for a change. It's time for that. To give up my ridiculous fantasies of perfection, useless, noisy, irritating, demanding, and yet deadening perfection. I'd rather just be alive. I want to plant my head in the earth, in the same mud that sticks to your feet, and breathe in her rich soil smell. I want to feel her heart beating in the quiet movements of the roots of the plants as they stretch and grab and stop my ears with her fertile dirt, finally gaining peace from the constant infernal racket of thoughts no longer wanted. Oh, beloved, how you are to be envied. You are being given the gift of no self, no noise, no sense. The great beloved truly wants you to be closer than ever to the wild universal heart in that field of love. Every electronic device goes haywire, systems collapse, worlds collide, and great stars are born from the chaos. But the real you will sense none of this. You'll be staring at your beloved, so intoxicated by love, your tongue will roll out of your mouth, and you'll drool like a bloodhound, and you won't care a hoot. Neither will the great beloved. Such will the passion of your reunion be. That only thing to matter will be the one great love exploding inside your being. So who cares if you have no idea what day it is, what your job was supposed to be again, or how to make conversation, let alone intelligent conversation, at the dinner table? Oh well. You shall not be yourself anymore. You shall not be so appropriate or sociable. Who understands crazy words that fall out of your mouth, unchecked by logic or rationality? I do. I know the beloved too. I am under the same loving spell. I, like you, have no I anymore. I, like you, am so crazy with love that I care not for things making sense anymore. I, like you, long for my night of love with the great beloved that ends me forever and renders me only and ever the lover of the great beloved. I call that night forward from my love-crazed heart, as do you. That grey Layat al-Qadar, the night of destiny. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Let us run together and pound on the bedroom door of the great beloved. There is no shame, there is nothing else worth holding on to. Let us go now and throw ourselves upon the goodwill of the Creator. Our hair shall be messy and mingle with the curving galaxy, and the planets shall grow rings around them, becoming the many eyes of the great beloved, delightfully bearing witness to our loving, passionate surrender. This oracle brings you a message. You are moving through a period of not knowing, of a time in the great void of the womb of the Divine Mother. It is in this place the seed can crack open and take root. This cannot happen in the light, where all is seen and recognized. It must happen under the cover of darkness, where only trust can assure one of success. This is the way of nature, the way of life, and it must be honored. This oracle brings you ancient wisdom. It guides you not to fear the darkness, but to enter into it willingly. It is not for you to become lost, but to find your way. This oracle is saying that in the darkness there is the path. Do not turn away from it. Let it be. Be with the lack of knowing. When people ask of you so many questions and demand sensible answers to support their notion of reality, do not bow to such unworthiness and fear. Know that their minds may be fearful for your safety and their own, lest your divine madness be contagious, but that their fear is nothing to you, nothing at all. It is not even anything to them, but they just don't know that yet. Under the sacred black cloak of night, the Divine Mother, the Goddess, she who transfigures from darkness into the light, has invited you into her chamber. In that place you shall experience annihilation, but only that of which is untrue, that of which would hold you back, dampen your spirit, or prevent you from bursting into full aliveness. For that which is true is already seated deep in her womb, and is preparing to be born, strong and with good, powerful legs. So when it is time, it will leap like a wild creature, all instinct and intuition, into the morning light. For this moment, however, there is darkness, and that is essential for the appearance so eminent and beloved of the light on its way. This oracle brings you guidance. If you find yourself to be sad, to be grieving, whether you know for what or not, or even depressed or struggling, feeling as though you are being pulled down, do not fight, bear witness instead. Allow what is taking place to take place. Allow what is happening to happen. You shall find a joy in allowing the interplay of darkness and the light to take place according to a greater unfolding rhythm of your own divine growth process. Sacred honoring ritual. Sit in a dark and quiet space if possible. Say aloud, I honor the darkness that serves the loving light. Through the grace of Rumi and the Divine Mother, I am blessed with the growth of my soul into life, even within the darkest of dark places. The Divine Beloved dwells with unfailing generosity and compassion. In my surrender I am held, and in my darkness the seed of new life takes root. So be it. Rest for as long as feels good. You have completed your honoring ritual. With that being said, that message definitely will resonate for both sides of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So there is a call right now to be in darkness, to be in stillness, and to understand that not everything is as it seems. So with that, I definitely encourage you to find more connection within yourself and with your partner, and to take everything that resonates with you. Wishing you love and light. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below. Gain support from the community, and I will see you next time, Pile 1. Blessed be. Welcome, Pile 2. This is your twin flame reading. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the divine femme is being represented versus the divine masculine. So we have your divine femme coming in. I apologize, I'm not going to pronounce either of these names just so I don't mess them up. But we have the diamond-hearted Dakiki. And I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Okay, so right away from the divine femme, I am getting the sense that you really live your life as bright as you can. I'm saying that you're probably used to darkness. Like you're really used to you probably have a difficult childhood for those who connect more with the divine femme side. And within that, I'm really seeing kind of you've been denied who you are most of your life, and in your adulthood, you kind of really had to find your own light and become the grace that you sought. And with that, we're really seeing like anything that like any shadow, you probably do a lot of shadow work as a divine femme, but we're ultimately the words I'm trying to get through is that any time that you yourself, like anybody, any negative comment that has been said to you, you have been able to check against your own ego as true or false and dismiss anything that has been false. And that really has become not necessarily, I'm saying part of your passion, but it almost seems like it's part of your resilience to the point where like maybe your more negative side effects are the fact that you have certain trust issues, or maybe like anytime someone says something negative, you start to be more wary about being around that energy. So just something to be considerate of. Now for the divine masculine, we do have Melchizedek. And then my genius reveals daily. So we won't be reading this completely, but you may want to take a screenshot. And this is to support the divine masculine, whether this is within your connection or within yourself. And so for this, I'll just do a quick overview. For this one, we really are seeing that your divine masculine is connected to the all-knowing. They may, I'm really seeing like be a professor or a teacher, but ultimately they themselves had to learn as well. And so I'm seeing that they look at themselves probably as much as a student as a teacher and are just constantly trying to relive life. So it's a very interesting energy that complements you because both energies are very whole and complete in the sense that the way that you support each other is a little bit more mysterious. We have a little bit more cards that we're going to look into, but if anything, I would say it's recognizing each other and allowing each other to be who you are, which sounds simple, but if you've had a difficult childhood, maybe not. And with that being said, I'm also seeing you guys probably learn from each other a lot. So the divine feminine, a lot of times when negativity comes in, you maybe see things a lot more in the shadow than you need to. And so with your divine masculine counterpart, sometimes they help you see the light in the situation, and that just supports you in the way that you learn. And then with that, not only in those moments are you supporting them in learning about emotions, because that's the hardest thing. That's the thing that we're continuously learning, let me say that. And so they're like always grateful to be interacting with you because they're always learning. And so I really just get the sense that both of you look to each other as the person who is supporting them more, but you both are looking at each other this way. So it's really this interesting balance that comes out from you guys. I'm really seeing like the yin yang sign, how you see them. It's not like straight down the middle balance, like they truly are blended together while remaining separate. Now, this next section, we're going to talk about the hidden truths that can be within your connection. So this could be represented from the divine feminine side or the divine masculine side. Just take however it resonates for you. Most of the time, you probably will see that there is a way that the card represents both sides, and it just depends on what you've been through with your connection. So let's start. So first we have, I want to start over. So very interesting, because I really wasn't getting a lot of sense of separation past the fact of illusion. Like I said, it really looks like a yin yang sign. And so when you are light and when you are the dark side of the yang, there is an argument that possibly you're only seeing your own side of it. And so, but ultimately I'm seeing that both of you really are wanting to learn from each other, lean on each other. Maybe you both feel like you're a little bit about burdens, and I'm sensing there might be something in the past that both of you are trying to learn from, but not together for some reason. And so there's a sense of needing to start over in order to understand that. Okay, let's keep going. So we have, you inspire me. What did I say? Like, I already got this from this connection. You guys really just you literally compliment each other. Like, I would not be surprised if at the best points of your connection, you guys leave little notes of encouragement to each other, or like send little messages throughout the day. You're like, hey, I was just thinking about you and I hope your meeting's going well. And like just little things like that, to where you're like, wow, that really inspires me to be a better person, when the whole reason why they sent you that message is because they were inspired to work harder like you know? So it's just like this interesting like cycle of gratitude that you guys have. So I find you so attractive. No doubt. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I am hearing that, I'm so sorry. I'm hearing that both of you doubt this, but both of you, like, there's literally I'm hearing like there's so much empirical evidence to like point out, like, not only like, I'm hearing like you probably both are attractive in general, but for some reason, like when you look at the other, you're like, no way would they be attracted to me. And meanwhile, they're looking at you thinking the same thing. So rather coming through the positive to focus on is just find yourself attractive, and then that'll help support you in hearing your divine connection and how they see you, truly see you. And then finally, I don't want to let you go. Yeah, are you thinking about leaving? Are you thinking about letting go of your connection? Like, oh, I'm hearing like maybe you think you've learned all that you needed to from this connection, and this can be from both sides considering this, honestly. But ultimately, that's why you want to start over, because you're like, this can't be the end. I'm getting the sense of like, we see how the world, in tarot, like you get to the world and a lot of times that can signify an ending, but then right after you have the Fool, which is the new beginning. And I'm seeing that's essentially what they want with you. So maybe if you guys like were just working on, maybe this was just a flirtation and you guys are just working on a project together. This is kind of like saying like, I hope we have another project we work on together, or slash, you know, make our connection into a relationship versus just that. So yeah, I'm really saying like you guys really look at each other like exactly the same. Like this is a true mirror twin flame connection. And yeah, I see, so it's like the blockage is so little. It's so crazy how both sides are like screaming at how much they want to be with each other. So okay. We have a self-care card. Let's just go ahead and take a look into it and see if this will help us. Okay. Yes. So we have sound healing. Also, 47 seems like an important number. So if you start seeing that around you, I definitely would encourage you, maybe use that as a sign that not only are you healing, but your connection is healing. Okay. With that being said, you're definitely going to want to look into sound healing. You can literally look this up. You can Google it if you wanted to. You can look it up straight on YouTube, and you will find so many different sound frequencies that can support your healing. So you're going to know best how you're hurting, right? Especially your divine feminine. Because you check those egos so often. And if you're the divine masculine, you're going to want to know like where you wanting to hurt. Like hearing sound healing, you probably are like, oh, interesting. So I would just encourage you to follow your curiosity in that regard. And then if you are together in your connection, take a sound bath together. That sounds weird. You're not in a physical bathtub. Most people are just like laying on a yoga mat while they do them. And then it's just having like the sound wash over you. And you never know what may come of it. You guys also may feel enlightened. You may just connect more with each other. There's just so many benefits that come to sound healing. And I'm really seeing ultimately it's also a way to surrender and to let go. So you're not letting go of each other. You're kind of letting go of any residual fears, any blockages that are hurting you and your partner from coming together. So yes, loving this for you. Next, I do have a Rumi Oracle card. So we're going to read it also straight from the book. So take however it resonates for you. Use the sacred honoring ritual if it sounds right for you. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so for you, we have 44, Merciful Mother, either Hamal or Jamal. Let's put her right there. And so definitely 4s are a very important number for you. That can... Something interesting I found out is like 4, 13, 1 plus 3 can equal 4, right? 13 represents the divine feminine, and then 4 is the divine masculine. So definitely take that how it resonates. Maybe it sounds a little bit more like there might be a little bit more action needed in the relationship is what I'm hearing, and a little bit time to invest is also what I'm hearing. Okay. With that, let's go ahead and actually read your 44. Please hold. O sudden resurrection, O countless blessings, O blazing fire in the jungle of thoughts, today you arrive with laughter to break open the jail. Rumi. You, blazing angel, capable of so much, you invoke the testing hand of life. Why not when you cannot fail? Yet in your sweet surrender, how can the great beloved not respond in kind and offer you solace, comfort, and mercy? For not all success must be hard won. Can you imagine this? The sweet face of the all-powerful, it shines upon you as a love emanating from the Holy Mother's eyes. The golden radiance of her body and the gentleness of her touch. This is your birthright now, your divine inheritance, the mercy of all the merciful. Let it soften the hard edges of your life and your being and bring to you the grace that is desired. This oracle brings to you a message. There is a shift taking place now in a matter of great importance to you. From Hala to Hamal, from justice to mercy, this is your path, your destiny, and your blessing. Now opening up before you, it may be a particular matter. However, it likely includes your entire life orientation. You are being granted refuge, respite, and shelter from the storms of struggle and doubt, and being given a divine sanctuary of safe harbor. You shall find that the unraveling of the struggle and pain it now happens through tenderness, a gentler approach. You are also being asked to take stock of your own thoughts and attitudes. Having to be tough and play a hardball in the past has served its purpose. Yet this oracle comes to you with guidance to become softer in your way and your attitude. Can you gently but firmly place to one side the judge within, the one who keeps score and demands retribution, an eye for an eye, the exponent of its absolute justice? Can you invite instead the one who gentles the aggressive lord within and allows him to bow before the great lady who loves and is wise, and who studies the workings of the world with the softest of touches? Don't fear that if you suddenly give yourself a break, all your discipline, hardness, and toughness and suffering will go to waste. No, all things provide learning and serve divine purpose, but now there is no reason to continue in that way. It is time to learn another way. You are strong enough now to become gentle. If there is a foe or fight in your life, ask for the Mother of Mercy to bless it into resolution. If you have also drawn the hand of Fatima, we did not, you are being told that this resolution is already on its way. So just keep that in mind if maybe you're drawn to Fatima in the recent weeks or coming weeks. You are being told now that you can stand your ground and remain in your strength without having to become aggressive or hard. You have more power than you realize, and it is in your being. It is not in your ability to control others or manipulate situations, for such actions are unworthy of being of your magnitude and unnecessary for your success. You are also being given the message that your prayers are powerful. Although action in the world is a part of your soul purpose and plan, when you pray, have conviction that your prayers are real and are heard and are responded to by the great universal heart. So pray carefully and thoughtfully. Be present and speak if you were speaking to your dearest, oldest, and most influential and powerful friend, because of course that is exactly what you are doing. Pray from the heart and trust in the power of your prayers. There is no limit to what you can pray about, nothing too unspiritual or unworthy, nothing, so pray. This oracle brings you the message that the great power of compassion is reaching for you, that it wants to help you but is waiting for you to ask. So ask, then you shall receive. Sacred Honoring Ritual. With your hand on your heart, say, I call upon Hala, Mother of Mercy, upon Rumi who loves me unconditionally, and ask for your grace, intervention, and blessing now. In all matters of my life, I accept the help of the great universe, compassion seeking to bestow itself upon me now. Thank you. If there is a particular issue with which you are struggling, you may also like to speak of that for a few moments in your prayer. When you are ready, rest with both hands at your heart for as long as feels good, and then you have completed your sacred honoring ritual. All right, pile 2. Definitely coming in strong to just really forgive, not seek out justice. So I'm hearing it's really a mental game for this connection. So definitely let that sound healing just wash over you. One other thing I did forget to mention for the Divine Feminine. So these messages, no matter if you are in a connection, in separation, or if you're you to look up the Divine Feminine here so that you can resonate with their story a little bit more, maybe understand where their empathy comes from and how you can see that more within your life. But with that being said, pile 2, I'm wishing you love and light. As this resonated with you, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely comment below, gain some support from the community, and I will see you guys next time. Blessed be. Welcome, pile 3. Let's go ahead and take a look into how your Divine Feminine and Masculine are being represented. So first, for the Divine Feminine, we do have Diana, Queen of the Wilderness. The language of the natural world is a frequency of love. This is my mother tongue. So, lots to say about Diana, right? Literally a queen, also a goddess. Yes. There's so much that goes in Diana. She is a representation of the full moon. She is, some people like to say she's the Roman aspect of Artemis. And as we see here, she is the Queen of Wilderness. She is a hunter, and she is interacting within the natural world in such a sense that it works for her. So very interesting that we're going to go ahead and see that coming through. And then for our Divine Masculine, we have the Commander. I am in command. Now this back part, you may want to take a screenshot see how it relates to you. But essentially, we're saying we have 2 leaders in your household, which, what a connection, right? But sometimes that can get difficult, especially if one of you is really, the divine masculine side is really seeing themselves more as a commander and wanting to lead and to move forward. Well, we have Diana, which a lot, I would say, resides more within past energies. So we have a little bit of conflicting energies here. I would almost say that's part of what makes your connection work and how it balances each other out to bring the best part of the present together. If anything, I would say that's probably what your connection needs to focus on the most whenever you're feeling out of alignment, is to come back to the present moment. And we have some more cards to help us with more suggestions around what's going on within your connection. But really, I'm just saying it's, you guys maybe just butt your heads every once in a while because you have different views of how you see the future, because one of you is looking very far in the future while the other one is trying to bring the past to the future. Definitely take that how it resonates, because that can be taken as like you want to garden more, or it can be taken that like you won't let go of a toxic friendship from your past. So definitely, however it resonates within you and yourself as a person, just maybe question yourself, like, how do I, if you actually all, no matter how you're looking at this within the divine, whether you're in connection, isolation, separation, or just looking to balance your own internal energies, that means that you can look into the story behind Diana, and what you find may really resonate with you and help in supporting you in that divine feminine aspect. And if you haven't really been focusing on the future, then that's why the commander is also coming up, because it is saying like you need to be looking ahead. There is a certain sense, like if you've been feeling a certain lack, that's why you've been feeling lack, because you've been just kind of letting the future come as it will and feeling resentful almost as things happen, but you are in control of your life. And then in a partnership, you both are in control of the future as it moves together. And so that's why we're seeing that there's a certain balance of needing to understand how your present looks, and how much of your present you want to bring forward. Because it's less about the past, it's less about how you want to see the future, it's more about what you want to maintain in the present. So with that, we do have some hidden truths that came out for you guys. We actually had, well, it's a similar number to the other ones, but your hidden truths really come out. So these might be shocking. And I would encourage you to see how it would relate to you as well. So if you're like, I didn't even know this was an aspect to the relationship, maybe look at how to that truth might be a truth for you internally, not just maybe something that your partner is going through. Okay, so I saved your texts and messages. Okay, right away I'm getting that you guys are secretly sweethearts, and that, oh yeah, I'm hearing that you probably in your life have needed to like just really be like stone cold and not really show your emotions, because you're leaders, right? Both of you are leaders. You've needed to put aside your own, this isn't necessarily true for all leaderships, but there seems to be certain things within your past and the way that you guys have interacted with the world that you have needed to put away your emotions. And I'm seeing like King of Swords, Queen of Swords type of energy, which is ironic. I think most people would probably label Diana as a Queen of Pentacles, but right now for you, I'm getting Queen of Swords energy. Take that how you resonate if you don't really know tarot, but I know we don't have it today. Anyways, again, I am seeing though that you guys are ultimately sweethearts. Ooh, there's something here though about the divine feminine side, and you both have this within you though, that maybe you guys hold on to negative messages too, because you're like, how can I avoid this coming into the future? The way to avoid it coming into the future is to delete those negative ones. So I would encourage you to delete anything that makes you have a negative feeling, and then to just remember those positive messages that you and your partner have sent to each other. Like, I'm just seeing that there mostly is sweetness between this connection in the way that you guys have saved your texts and messages. I'm also hearing, especially when times are troubling and maybe you yourself aren't feeling as strong as a leader, you tend to read over these messages, and that's for both of you. So whenever you are not feeling very strong as a leader, I encourage you to send a fresh message to your partner, because chances are they are feeling the same. Okay, so will you ever make things right? Okay, what did I say about making sure to relay this to you as well? So don't take this just as like, how dare they say that to me? Like, you might be saying this to them as well. And there's also coming through the fact that this is a question that is asked of leaders often, like from a community standpoint. And so maybe this is really something that you both ask yourself often. And I'm hearing, yeah, get rid of those negative messages, because I'm hearing like anything that has happened in the past that you guys are kind of holding on to, that you're like, this is always going to be here and a part of our future. There's no reason for that. That's why you need to focus on the present. Chances are it's not even in the present, it's only in the past. Okay. Now, next we have I have too much to lose. Very interesting. I am getting the sense that you guys might see yourself as separate leaders, and rather than leaders that can come together, even though you have so much passion for each other. And yeah, because I'm really seeing like this is really coming more to me, like you're looking at like how your community is what your community needs rather than like what you and your partner need. But you guys are twin flames, so like please keep that in mind as we move through this, and take that however it resonates. But ultimately there just seems to be like a lot of fear and like a lot of like pushing down your own emotions rather than expressing your emotions. We don't share the same values. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so I did say there is a little bit of like past and future messages here, and so we're really picking up like you guys probably are in separation or thinking about being in separation. Additional reason why those saved messages are so important, because maybe you're not actively speaking to each other. Definitely would make a lot more sense too internally if you're here for balancing out. I'm seeing that there's a lot of, if you're the divine feminine, there's a lot of you being within the past energy that didn't work for you, and you're carrying that past energy to the future. It's almost like you're like, I must take this burden with me, but I'm gonna charge forward. And for the divine masculine, we're almost seeing that you were charging forward, but I know we see like this compass rose, right? But I'm almost seeing like you're charging forward to the past. And I know that doesn't really make sense, but it's like that's like kind of how lost you are, as within, if you resonate more as a divine masculine, is that you're kind of turned around. So you think you're heading towards the future when really you're heading towards the past. So we have a self-care card that is going to, we'll talk about it. Let's just get it. Okay, clean your space. Number 1, delete the negative messages, right? Number 2, we're really sensing, okay, if you guys are in separation, I'm being told by spirit, like if you are in separation, it's time to clean out those items that no longer serve you. So if you're holding on to like a memento that like is from a past memory that is more painful than joyful, it's time to let go of that memory. An interesting thing that just came to mind is like when you're overweight, you save shirts and you're like, I'll get skinny and I'll wear this one day. But then an interesting thing happens when you do get to a weight to wear that shirt comfortably. You always associate it with being fat. So even when, so if you just are feeling insecure on that day when you're wearing it, even if it fits you perfectly, you're going to feel like it's too tight, like you need to lose a little bit more weight in order for it to fit you right, because that was always the mentality you had before with that object. So that's really what we're sensing here. You know what, we have a Rumi Oracle card that's going to give us a little bit more insight. So I'm really sensing here, as much as you guys are maybe thinking about like staying in separation and not continuing forward on your twin flame journey, essentially, that one, this is all how it's meant to be. You guys, right? The hidden truth, you guys don't share the same values. What does that mean for your connection? And so that's something too, Spirit is saying, like you might need to gain new perspectives in order to bring this relationship forward. And so cleaning your space is going to really help do that. It's also a very meditative time. If you are together in your connection, even more reason why you guys need to do this together. Especially, I'm hearing there's the blame game, blame game, which I also like to call the shame game, which essentially is where you bring up point for point with each other to be like, well, you did this, well, you did that. Guess what? You both did things then. So now it's time, instead of like bringing up those things, just saying, like, this moment really hurt me for this reason, and I need you to know that. And then there might be more conversation that happens to really help you get closure around that. But ultimately, after you have that conversation, you are saying and promising to yourself that you're not going to let that experience, that memory, hold you back, hold you in fear. You're going to move forward. And through this, you're going to gain new perspectives, not only for yourself, but also from your relationship. And you're going to be able to make new decisions that support you and your partner. And I'm hearing your community. For a lot of people in this group, you might share children together. So I'm definitely hearing that, you know, this might be something you really want to take a look into, because you may think that your values are just so different now, but maybe they used to be the same. Like, there used to be a core value I'm hearing. And so kind of getting back to the heart of things is really going to support you and your connection in moving forward. Yeah, I'm hearing with the I have too much to lose really goes either way. Like, you have too much to lose for staying in the relationship, and you have too much to lose for leaving it. And so cleaning your space is really going to help you understand what you're willing to let go of and how to let go more easily. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look into your Rumi card. So we have 20, the all-encompassing hand. Okay. All right. You are the essence of my existence. Who am I? A mirror in your hand. Whatever you do, I will do. I am your irresistible reflection. With every breath I feel, my heart is beating with yours. In your joy, I am exuberant. In your sadness, I am in sorrow. If you are bitter, I become bitter. If you are grace, I become grace. My joy is when I am bewildered in your beauty and taste the sweetness of love on your lips. If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand. Rumi. I have held your hand in mine for so long that I have long since ceased to distinguish where your sacred flesh once felt separate from mine. This sacred grasp pulses with divine love, and there is one hand holding and held, one being loving and loved, though we may appear by less ecstatic angels to be two. The love that gives us this handfast beloved is so powerful we could spin the entire universe upon its axis, and still our hands would be joined, gently and yet enduringly, in unfailing love and sublime friendship. I just want to cut in. Friendship seems to be very important, and maybe that's something that's missing within your connection right now. Like, maybe you used to be friends, and that part has turned a little bit bitter. On with the reading. Perhaps you are in need of reassurance, dearest one. Perhaps you have been feeling somewhat alone on your path, or struggling with a matter deep within your precious, beautiful heart, and speaking of it to no one. Such loneliness can foster in the heart, with no other to bear witness to your life experience. You may question your life, your sanity, your truth, and create doubt where no doubt need be. This must stop now. You are worthy of so much more, and this suffering is not essential for your growth now. It is time to let it be and to open up to the touch of grace. So this oracle comes to you as the hand of the divine. It is the all-encompassing hand, the hand that has no limitation upon the blessings it can bestow, upon the troubles it can lift from you, upon the tenderness it can communicate to you through sacred touch. Allow the divine hand to reach for you, beloved. Do not turn away. Do not let old shame, guilt, or mistaken notions of false independence keep you from accepting this heavenly hand. This hand reaches to gently wipe away the tears of the past. It will deftly unravel the ties that have bound your own hands, preventing you from fully giving and receiving according to your worth, which is incontestable and without limit. This divine hand will reach for you in your meditations, your sleep, and your prayers. It will reach for you through life circumstances, through the smile or hug you receive from another, or the touch of another human being. It will reach you through the song of a bird, the falling of leaves, the soft fur of a beloved pet, through some lyrics that seem to speak what are you feeling deep inside, or the colorful dress of the stranger across the street who catches your eye and makes you smile. This divine hand is reaching for you now through this oracle. Yes, says the great beloved, I am reaching for you. Yes, I know you. You are my own. I would never abandon you. Perhaps you have turned from me unknowingly, forgotten how much I love you, because the world is in a forgetful daze too. It ignores the caress of the breeze, the joyful acknowledgement of every sunrise, of the reverence made radiant in every sunset. Life is the touch bestowed by my hand. Shall you receive me? Let me love you. Let me restore your soul and remind you there is nothing to fear now. Come, lay down your weapons and your fear for this moment. Quit using that mouth to cry for war or to cry in despair. Bring yourself to my table and use that mouth to taste some bold and rich wine instead. Enjoy with me in this moment the unbreakable bond that lies between us. Allow me to bring the cup of wine to your lips. Behind your head so gently lies my all-encompassing hand. Know the peace of my love so deeply it cannot register with you now that you shall never forget it again. This oracle comes with a particular message for you. There may be a situation or circumstance in your life that you may feel somehow unable to be solved. This oracle comes with the reassurance that there is nothing beyond the reach of the divine hand of grace. All can be solved. All can be resolved. There is always a higher, better, more beautiful outcome possible. You are asked to pray using the sacred honoring ritual, and to do so with conviction. The divine has the situation in hand, and all is unfolding as it should be. Ask for help each day by asking, I ask for help this day in all ways through unconditional love. Thank you. You can be more specific in your request, asking for help in a particular relationship or a project too, if you wish. The divine wants to lend you a hand. You must ask for help first, however. So ask. Empower that all-powerful hand of grace. So bless your life in all circumstances, relationships, situations that have been or are yet to be for you. Sacred honoring ritual. Place one hand resting upon the other with palms joined together. Say aloud, through the loving grace of Rumi, brother of my soul, who breathed... One more time. Say aloud, through the loving grace of Rumi, brother of my soul, who loves me without condition, these hands are now blessed as the hands of the lover and the beloved. As the one divine hand, all-encompassing, I am blessed, protected, nurtured, and received. I am touched by the divine with compassionate mercy and loving tenderness. I call in the hand of grace to touch, heal, bless, and protect all aspects of myself and my life journey. Through divine grace, so be it. Simply rest with your hands in the same position for several moments, then finish your ritual. If you wish, you may continue by speaking in a prayer to the divine and offer up any issue or concern you have. Give it a voice. It doesn't matter how small or major the issue may seem. Talk it over with your great beloved, a wonderful and responsive listener. When you are finished, place your hands in prayer, bow your head, and simply say thank you. You have completed your sacred honoring ritual. Okay, pile 3. So definitely really resonating. Some things within the story that stood out for me for you is needing to stay within the present moment and recognize the beloved within that moment and to ask for help. So I'm hearing like that's probably something on both sides you struggle with. Like you're a leader. You're both leaders. You're not used to asking for help. Probably not asking for help from each other, let alone in outside sources. So Spirit is saying, first ask me, and if I do not deliver, I'm sorry. They will deliver. So like there's not another option kind of situation. Anyways, with that being said, I'm wishing you nothing but love and light on your twin flame journey. Thank you for being here. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to comment below, gain some support in the community, and I will see you all next time. Blessed be.